All right, welcome to the first episode of the Midnight Lantern podcast. My name is Sean Barlan, aka Swan. I am your host, and with my co-host, introducing
James Charles Ryan. I go by JC or Jace, not JC.
Yeah, we are here on the Midnight Lantern podcast. Just this podcast we've always wanted to start since we just have great conversations about life, about gaming, about hobbies, lifestyle, anything, and we decided to share what goes on in our minds, and there's a lot. And so we just wanted to share the internal process of what it means to exist as Swan and JC. And we have a lot of experiences of gaming, of hobbies we're into.
Growing up early 2000s, late 90s.
So for today on our first episode, we are going to be talking about a few things. Might be all over the place, might be very well refined. Who knows?
It's not decided.
If it's shit, we'll post it.
That's our process.
Yeah,
deal with our process.
Exactly. If you're listening to this, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I pity you.
But thank you. We appreciate you, and we love you.
Okay, wait. Do you want to talk about the games we've been playing recently before we get into any, let's say topics?
Just to get, a flavor of who we are as gamers.
Yeah. Where I'm at with gaming.
Yeah. So for me recently, I actually haven't been playing a lot of video games this year.
Same, a little bit.
I used to play a lot of MMORPGs in the few years back. Really sucked the life out of me.
That's how it goes.
But Guild Wars 2, big fan. Yeah. I grew up playing Guild Wars 1, so I was really into Guild Wars series. For now though, I haven't been playing much on my computer or anything. I'm a PC gamer. I don't really own any consoles. I did own a PS4 for a little bit. Played a little bit of Destiny only on it. Destiny 1. But this year and recently, it's really just been fighting games because I'm never at home to play a game at home, and so I always just go and be playing Smash whenever I'm with friends. Playing fighting games Dragon Ball FighterZ actually really recently picked up the fight stick again and really just trying to get good. But I've recently been more into fighting games than just sitting behind a screen by myself playing an MMO. And I think it's because I've been more trying to get out of the house and kind of be more connected with people and be much more extroverted. I feel like I'm an introvert, so I'm trying to
no, definitely.
really come out of my shell.
Oh, okay. If you want to come out, it's the place to do it, Sean.
Oh, I've been playing a lot of RuneScape this year. I'm not a member though, so if you can even call it playing RuneScape, really, I just have it out and I'm not really playing it.
Why don't you do the free memberships from Amazon?
I play like a bot, and so I'm really just.
That's how everyone plays RuneScape.
Yeah. But I've been really following the RuneScape community, and that's been cool because I had never really gotten to RuneScape like that when we were kids back in 2007, and so
you got into it with you doing all the extra stuff, all the non-member stuff.
But it wasn't really into it. I didn't know
99.
a lot.
You would go
of,
for 99 woodcutting and shit.
But so now it's now as an adult, I can appreciate more of what RuneScape was,
right.
And so.
That's a trend among a lot of people who play RuneScape. The whole old school RuneScape thing.
Yeah.
It's nostalgia, and it's you can quantify this experience in the past, which felt large and infinite. It's you can look back and quantify it and efficiently organize it, and you feel good about it.
Right.
That's I feel like that's a trend in this kind of community. Another trend that I was thinking about, which you were just talking about, was about social gaming.
Right.
How you go places now.
Yeah. So what games have you been playing?
Okay, wait.
RuneScape?
I've been playing a little bit of RuneScape. I must say with MMOs, I always have felt, not always, but there hit a point where when I started playing games and thinking about them more critically, I felt like the game design MMOs was very immoral.
It is
messed
true.
Up.
It is very true.
The way it drags on your time meaninglessly without certain content. It's meant to immerse you and put you in the world, but it's that's part of the problem with MMOs is we're more conscious, and it's a good thing, right? You don't want... Games are very rhetorical. Games can influence you in ways that are powerful and not the most expected because it mixes interactivity with all this other type of rhetoric. It can be scary, and MMOs can look gross. Hypocritically, I've played a lot of RuneScape lately. The RuneScape, I don't know. To me, it feels like RuneScape's just honest about itself.
Right. It's just like, this is what it is. There's
Right.
no like fanfare
Extra-
to it.
yeah.
It's really just bare bones what the core
Exactly.
MMORPG experience would be.
The right grind. It hits
Yeah.
the feeling that you actually want with an MMO, which is, it's not like it's over immersing you or something, but it hits that grind.
Classic was kind of like that when it first launched.
Right.
But we can discuss our
We can talk about
experiences
Classic.
later once
I
we
almost
get
feel like I
into it.
want to I just want to go back and get to level 60 with Classic or something, just to do it. Then that's the other thing is like, man, it's kind of a thing to do. But yeah, that's not my experience with games really. That's kind of just my opinion. What games have I been playing? So,
Sims?
I've played a lot of Sims with my RSGF. I've been playing a lot of Sims. Okay, that's very recent though. That's been like the past week and a half or two.
Right.
I think through this year, so I had my last semester, so I made my final project. That was a video game. Worked really hard on that.
Right.
That's
Yeah,
been
you've had
kinda-
quite a busy year.
Yeah, I didn't even think about it. Yeah, things have moved a lot. What I learned, I think this year is like you should get a blue collar job. You should get a job that's just like for me it was like valet or like just doing like bookstore, like the lowest tier of like a bookstore, like the cheapest, like low down, do the dirty stuff and get paid the least. Like you learn a lot of just fundamental ways the world works in fundamental human ways. I think it's like super interesting and valuable, but that's like not video games or anything at all. So I think that so I was working on my game and that was giving me a lot of like when you actually do something and when you actually create a project, right? Because you have a vision, you have the creative brainstorming, but then when you actualize it, like you have to engineer it and put it all together.
I played your game too. It was good.
Yeah. Well, it's come along a little bit.
Yeah.
You can play it again. We'll see. But doing that, it's like things collapse, and it has to do with that feeling where it's like you don't close any doors. It's because like I was reading this with Harold Bloom. Okay, this is like a definite tangent, but I'm gonna try to cut it short. It's with Harold
this is what it's
Bloom.
all about.
No, yeah, right. We've hit the flow state.
So who's Harold Bloom?
So Harold Bloom, he died recently.
Rest in peace, Harold
Yeah,
Bloom.
yeah. But he was a famous critic, famous book critic. He was like a Fulbright scholar when he was younger at like Harvard. He like had a very vivid memory, like a photographic memory. He remembered like he was the one who kind of defended the Western canon of literature. Well, like still that's Shakespeare and like just Western literature, because there has been this kind of tie, I think, with not that it's bad, it's good that we're implementing other cultures and like Eastern.
So what did he
philosophy and
do?
literature. So he just defended and said like, y'all are trying to introduce other cultures by saying like Shakespeare is not actually as good as he is. He was saying you're wrong. Like he actually is.
So this is the collapse.
No. The collapse is sorry. I tangent to her. No. The collapse is when you're. Well, okay, all right, it is. So that's just what he did. What he said though in one of his last articles, in one of his so he wrote all this whole final book before he died, and it was all his essays compiled and kind of his final thoughts on things, him acknowledging he's gonna die, stuff like that, and talking about how when he says goodbye to someone, or when you actually when we say goodbye and realize we're not gonna see someone again, it's like death, and it mirrors death. It's like an avenue to witnessing what death is, and so that's what it feels like when you're actually like knocking down all these things. It's like, oh, this finite thing, boom. It's like this is an absolute change that will not return, and that's what it has to do when you're closing doors. It's like that's death. The doors are death, and so it's like mirroring that, going through that and making a game in a way that's like tactile, and I'd say like it's like a cognitive behavioral thing. It's not like some thing you imagine in your mind. It's something that just affects you, your psychology outside of yourself. Going through that, I think, makes you confront a lot of crises or like reminiscent thoughts you have about games or game making or like human nature. But like, so through that, I was playing games different and like was super conscious about how games worked. And obviously when you do that, it's like when you're writing and analyzing, you like read a story, you can do that, or anything, or when you draw. I think that specifically, like you see all the shapes in the world.
Yeah, like I've been studying so much film when I watch movies now.
Right.
It's like,
yeah, right.
sheesh.
It's like the illusion.
that's changed the way you've been playing games this year. And so is that
Right.
that's affected the amount of games you've played this year? Because I know you used to play like a shit ton of games.
Yeah. It's affected the amount of games I play and also like what I do with them. Because so what I also have done was in the beginning of this year, I had paid the whole yearly thing for
Humble Bundle.
Humble Bundle. Yeah.
So just to clarify, JC is like growing up, he'd play like hundreds of games. Like his Steam library is like
It's over 500 games.
500 plus games, and then you have me who plays like 2 games a year.
Because games are big.
Yeah, like I play bigger, like long-term, soul-sucking
More
MMOs,
immersive,
you know.
Yeah, soul-sucking.
And like I'll always like just play 1 game or 2 games at a time because like I really put everything into it.
Yeah.
I can never just dabble and be like, I didn't like it, and
Yeah,
then
yeah.
like stop playing. I really like full on 100%. Like I research everything. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, like what's
embedded,
good?
Something I never do. You get so embedded in the community.
Right.
Totally foreign to me.
Yeah.
Never would have thought to do that. When I do an MMO, even then it's like if I was doing an MMO on my own, I would avoid doing dungeons and like doing any looking for group thing because it would just be intimidating to me or like
Right.
foreign or like I don't understand what this is.
And then on my side, it's like I'm like going head first, like, hey, like where can I find the first community that can help me? Like,
Well, it's like social. Like you socialize better on that. But it's like it's like that. Like when you're in MMO, it's like you're alone,
yeah,
but you're with everyone else.
right. That is true. Oh shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. But we don't play MMOs anymore
Yeah,
because
that's
that
for
shit's.
piece-
I'm just kidding. I miss playing
Yeah, no, I wanna
MMOs.
play
I
some-
wish I had the
I wanna
time
get
now.
immersed in that, yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
I want to be in that world.
If only there was an MMO that really just
Yeah, it's
stuck
hard.
with it.
Yeah, and part of it is because another thing that I was like super attentive to, especially with the Living World stuff in Guild Wars 2, was like it was like smaller scale game principles. So like it was like a mini game, but then applied to these other little projects. So it wasn't like there was no, I don't know. It's like there was no content. It was just super interesting how they embedded like a game concept that could be its own game, just a game in itself. They just would embed it into the.
There really was no content, though.
No, there was.
I'm just kidding.
Like boss battles and stuff.
It was just content not for a lot of the players who
A lot of the
were
current
really
population.
passionate about the game.
Because the thing is, a lot of these game concepts, even like a good game, say there's like a really good section of content or like a good focus, a good boss. To get there, you have to do all this tedious bullshit to just even have the chance, and then you have to learn that, and it's like this huge scaled thing. And it's like really people don't take that long to learn how to do shit. Partially. Like, you don't have to grind to actually learn.
You'd be surprised about these casual
Oh, some of these
MMO
casuals?
players. But before we dive too deep into our opinions and
I can talk. I have an idea
perspective
about
on
that. Okay,
MMOs and Guild Wars 2,
we got to talk about some.
we got like a list
Yeah,
of
come on.
things to discuss. So, all right. First thing,
Let's talk about
some recent news. Well, first we can. We'll start with the good news.
Definitely.
BlizzCon
2019,
2019.
hype as shit.
Right. So I
I'm
actually
happy
didn't
about it.
watch
Neither did
any
I.
of the live stream. I was working.
I wasn't
unfortunately.
working at all. I just wasn't paying attention.
Yeah, right. I think this one. I mean, I don't think anyone was. That's to be fair. I think people were because of the Hong Kong thing.
Yeah.
But before that, let's just announce what was actually announced at BlizzCon. So big one. They're opening. They dropped the bomb. Boom. Diablo 4.
That was a big deal.
Yeah, that was a huge deal, especially for me. I'm a big Diablo fan.
Mm-hmm.
It's the only Blizzard game like I really am passionate about
No,
and
definitely.
like I actually follow.
Yeah.
And then Overwatch 2, but who gives a shit?
Oh, bro.
All right.
Okay, I'll be
go ahead and
honest.
talk about Overwatch.
The way I feel about Overwatch 2, and I only watched like the trailer and they talk about like story and stuff. I don't know why they need to do this in Overwatch 2. I don't know why it has to be 2. I don't know why it's not just more Overwatch. It doesn't look that much better to me. It doesn't like sure maybe next gen you update the graphics. It's like Fortnite 2. It's like I don't really care. Oh, you didn't know about that?
As you can see, I've been out of the loop on a lot of things. But yeah, Overwatch 2, I saw that. I didn't watch the trailer though. I heard something about an airplane and then like Winston.
There's like apparently like a story mode and like stuff like
some
like
sad cinematic happened.
some cinematic. That's something like I don't understand. I mean, it makes sense because it's in time.
There's
and it
probably
makes sense
people
in the
listening
business.
like so like
It
into
makes
Overwatch
sense.
and they're just like
They're just like, wow, they don't know anything.
they don't get it. Yeah, no, like they're just like, geez.
That's just how I feel on the surface. It's like I feel like Overwatch fell off. Overwatch was really popular for a bit. It fell off.
I was never into it.
You never. We got into a little.
I hate FPS.
Yeah, you didn't. You ended up not really falling.
Yeah, not my type of game.
It's because you actually have to work hard at aiming. Like you actually have to.
Oh, are you saying I don't work hard at aiming?
Oh shit. This is not the type of thing. Like you understand the structure of something and then you'll enact it. That's like what an MMO is.
I just see no point in
Point and click.
It's like there's no progress. I mean, there is progress, but like there's no rewards. You know, like there's no gear progression. There's nothing to grind.
That's such a different skill. Like what I think of, like what I really want in a game is like I want my actual skill. Like my actual precision and shit and stats to.
For me, that'd be League of Legends.
That'd be League,
which I have been dabbling a little bit recently, just because it's.
Wait, we'll get to that. We gotta talk Blizzard. We're not over with Blizzard because the Hong Kong situation to me.
Yeah, so this is what made BlizzCon 2019 interesting. The whole Hong Kong controversy and the Hearthstone tournament that really sparked the Blizzard introduction.
This is what I heard from just some of my friends who are fans. They showed, because Diablo 4 actually isn't, we're not close to Diablo.
No, it's definitely like 2 years.
It's off, yeah. It's like, they were saying like it's not even close even for like Blizzard time.
They just needed to fan the flames.
Yeah, exactly.
They need to put out the fire.
Yeah.
Is what I meant.
Yeah, not fan.
But yeah, like Diablo 4 was like, is definitely from last year's Diablo Immortal announcement. They were just like, oh, okay, we fucked up. Oh shit, how could we fuck up even more? Hong Kong. Oh shit, what do we do? Diablo 4.
Diablo 4, baby.
Give them Diablo 4. Give them Diablo 4. Like
it's the only.
So, like, you know the meme, like the button press. The guy's like sweating.
He's sweating. Diablo 4.
Yeah. So I could see that, especially because of like, okay, they're in the hot spot. Like everyone's just shitting on Blizzard. Everyone's like boycott Blizzard. You know.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, and that's a complex situation because it's like I actually don't know what they were thinking, and I don't know what their ties are. So part of it is this. The way I think about it is this: where in China, there's a big mobile gaming community. That's where it's at. I believe it's China, maybe Korea and Japan or something.
It's true in Asia.
In Asia, and then China has fucking 1 billion people, so they have this giant market for mobile games. Blizzard is trying to make mobile games. They're trying to not get censored by the communist Chinese government, which is oppressive and aggressive, which we will talk about with Hong Kong. But like, so in my mind, they're like trying to keep a political affiliation where they're not like, we're not against China, because the situation with Hong Kong is a weird thing. It's like there was some agreement back in the 90s where Hong Kong and China agreed that they'd be one country with two systems. That's kind of how they had it. But now China over time is like, Hong Kong is part of us. They should be like us. They should accept our communist regime. We're gonna do so. What they start doing is like all these protesters who are noticing how China is kind of intruding on Hong Kong laws, their legislation, their politics, their internal systems. The way they're intruding on it is like they're trying to get control long term. Basically, so they have these people who protest and say we don't want that. We want to be our own. Like I think democratic. I think they're democratic. And by doing that, like we're gonna have these displays of protest. But what China does to Hong Kong, is they start capturing these protesters, these like lead protesters, and putting them in jail without explanation and like quietly. Like they don't make an announcement.
Right.
It's just they're just gone. They just disappear. And there's like talks about how they're doing experiments on them, like biological experiments on these, like, and it's messed up. It's like deranged. So that's kind of why people are annoyed at Blizzard for saying that, for signing with China, who's clearly not doing anything more.
It was like clear that they just wanted to fill their pockets,
right?
In the long run,
have that market.
Yeah, like they don't want to close that door to that market. So
for a moral reason.
So what happened is this Hearthstone player. I forget his name.
I don't even know what the.
I'm so sorry, but this Hearthstone player won the Blizzard tournament, won the whole tournament, and in the post tournament interview, he's wearing like the whole Hong Kong protest like fit with like the gas mask and everything, and he says their motto or whatever, their line, "Liberate Hong Kong, a revolution of our time."
Oh,
and so
a shirt.
No, he said it like out loud.
Oh,
like he said it on the street.
That's dope.
And so he says this, and Blizzard like just puts their foot down, and they take away his prize money, they ban him, and
Is he
then
still banned?
they like kind of said sorry, like sorry, not sorry. They took away his like lifetime ban. I
Yeah.
think there was like a ban though, but this isn't it though. They fired the two casters,
What casters?
the two casters who let the Hearthstone player like say it, like the people interviewing it. They fired the two casters who were casting the tournament
What? Because they didn't say anything?
because they alleged like if you watch the video, it's like, okay, he's already wearing the mask, like they already know what he's gonna say. They say like, okay, go ahead and say it. Like
Oh, the casters.
they're like, okay,
Green
we
lighted.
already know what he's gonna say because he's wearing the whole fit.
Yeah.
And so they're like, okay, like just let it happen.
Yeah.
And so they got fired for that, and there was just a lot of controversy about like, it's not cool that Blizzard really like there was reason for Blizzard to at least do something.
Yeah.
But the way they did it, they like overstepped their punishment because they're so for China, like not closing their market to China.
Oh.
And so that's like sparked the whole controversy. That's what brought Blizzard into this whole Hong Kong controversy, and it made like political news like here
Yeah.
in the US. Like
Yeah.
it was like senators are talking about Blizzard,
shit. I didn't know that.
and it's like huge.
It's a $1 billion company. It's a big company.
Yeah, and so that's why I'm like, fuck corporation. At the time, I
Fuck
was
the
playing
system.
classic WoW, and I was like, whoa, everyone's canceling their WoW
Right.
subscriptions. Everyone's boycotting Blizzard because it's like, hey, we won't support this greedy
Right.
corporation. And like, the whole meme of like, do you not have phones became, do you not have human rights? And so just this whole Blizzard
Whoa.
fiasco, it just became like a shitstorm.
Talk about how that tied into your personal motive.
Okay, so at the time I was playing Classic World of Warcraft, I hadn't played Classic. I was like too young to really know what I was doing back when we were playing WoW. Yeah, so like I just wasn't too into it. I was too young to really know what I was doing. So like getting the opportunity to play it now that I've actually experienced a lot of MMOs and like I would say I'm an MMO player, it's like cool to really live it now that I know what I'm doing. And so I was playing it. I'm like, okay, this is kind of fun. I had a few friends that played, but like something just didn't sit right with me while I was playing it. Like it almost felt like, oh, I'm only playing this because like everyone else is playing it, and I don't want to miss out. You
There's
know what I
hype
mean?
there. There's hype
Right.
in that
Yeah, it was
situation.
definitely hype. Like, yeah, we're playing,
Yeah. It felt
playing
good,
WoW,
too.
and like we're
I
playing
liked
with
it.
people, and like, but it wasn't like I was like, oh man, I just want to play WoW like all the time. And usually that's how I was playing MMOs before. And I think it just came at a weird time because like I wasn't really playing MMOs a lot, and like Guild Wars 2 kind of died, and so I was just waiting for the next MMO to like latch onto. But at the same time, I think I didn't want to let go of like Guild Wars 2. And so I think I was looking for a reason to just stop playing because like I was only playing because like everyone else was playing, and I didn't want to fall behind. And I do this a lot where I play games just because everyone else is playing it because I'm like, bro, you're doing it wrong. Like I could totally be better than you.
Oh,
Like
that's funny.
like dude, you're not even.
If it's an MMO,
it's not-
especially.
Yeah, like, bro, you're not playing optimally. Let me show you. But like, I'm not gonna tell you. I'm just gonna like show you because like I'm just way better than you. And so,
The elitism.
oh yeah. This I'm not an elitist. I swear. So,
Just if it's true.
oh. So I'm
Just
like
if you're actually better.
playing classic. I'm like grinding and like like these guys, these noobs don't even know how to grind right. And so
These noobs.
I wasn't really enjoying it, and then this whole Blizzard thing came out of like, yo, whoa, like fuck Blizzard, and I'm like, oh shit, this is a good opportunity to quit.
Yeah, like
Like I was just waiting for something,
that's interesting.
like I was waiting for something to like get me to stop playing.
Yeah.
Because if that didn't happen, I think I'd still be playing
Still be
classic.
going in. Oh, okay.
And
That's an
because,
interesting like level of detachment.
Yeah, it's weird. It's weird.
It's like you're looking like you. It's like you aren't just like deciding.
I was looking for a reason to quit, and I was just like, because Diablo 3 wasn't cutting it for me. Diablo 3 has been pretty
At
much
the time.
stale
Yeah.
for the past few
I mean,
years.
it's satisfying.
And then Diablo 4 wasn't announced yet, and it's not coming soon. So I was like, okay, I'm just gonna play classic till like the next Diablo game or something like that, because like that's what the game I really enjoy. That isn't an MMO, but yeah. So that whole thing happened, and like it kind of sucks though, because I paid for 6 months already for Classic,
Right.
so I can't even cancel my
You
subscription.
can't cancel
I already paid it in
the
full.
6 months. Oof.
So I'm like, that's why I was like, I might as well play it.
Yeah, right.
I'm already like,
There's no money to take from them. You've
yeah,
already given
exactly.
it.
But then I felt really icky about it, and like,
Yeah, right.
I was just like,
No, yeah, in a moral way.
like human rights and stuff. But then at the same
They
time,
seem
like,
important.
what do I know? Like, is it really like?
Yeah.
It's like that gray area of like when you want to save the earth, but really you're like,
You want to eat that.
Who gives a shit?
Yeah. You can't be affording that, like, green,
I'm just kidding.
recycled toilet paper.
Recycle, go green,
Go green.
use,
Reuse.
what is it?
Renew, reuse, recycle? So, reuse.
Woo.
Yeah. The 3 R's.
Just be a good person.
Yeah, there you go.
Yes.
Consider morality.
But yeah, so that was like, okay, I'm done playing Classic. Like that was like really the only thing I was playing on my PC. Because other than that, I'm out playing Smash, Ultimate. Picked up Melee a little bit.
Melee getting back into.
But it's definitely more fighters recently, and yeah, other than that, I haven't been playing too much video games.
On the PC.
Yeah. Oh,
Check the
every once in a
monthly.
while I'll play League. So this year we celebrate 10 years of League of Legends. Riot released a video called 10 Years of League of
I
Legends.
always like the content.
Did you watch it? It's like 48 minutes though.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, it was like a whole.
Was it historical, a documentary?
No. It was like sort of. It was
Was it
just them
staged?
announcing like their direction. So, before you go into your thing,
No, yeah. What's up? What's happening right now? What's real?
so 10 years of League of Legends,
yeah.
and Riot, very timely, releases this video and this live stream that they will be stepping into every type of game category. So we got card game, trading card game,
Yeah. All around League of Legends?
first person shooter. Yes,
Revolving around the world of League of Legends.
Runeterra.
Oh, okay. I remember you were the only one that was really into the lore.
Whoa! Don't expose me.
Oh, sorry. He's not like a nerd. but he is.
Whoa! It's true though. I actually enjoy a lot of. This is what I mean when I play a game. I go all
You
out.
get into
like,
the-
I get immersed, bro.
the immersion.
It's all about the immersion. And
It's
so,
like on the scale. You ever play that game or like Game Maker?
no. And
Oh,
so
okay,
League.
okay.
So League of Legends is now going to be trading card game, a first-person shooter like Overwatch,
Are you shitting
like
me?
hero-based. You don't know this? It's a trading card game, first-person shooter, an RPG like
An RPG.
an
Dumb,
action
dude.
RPG, I think, and an MMORPG. This isn't dumb. I'm with them.
Okay.
And then a fighting game,
Okay.
and I'm like, bro, this is genius because
A fighting game.
because this Riot is gonna be what Blizzard has been for the past like 20 years. Like the big. Hopefully, they won't like be like this greedy corporation because I.
No, yeah. I
but
mean, they're
like-
innovating. Innovation's a good sign that they're with the time.
And it's like no wonder like for 10 years they've been working at it. Like this is crazy. No, like they've been very good at like keeping it low key.
yeah.
There are some leaks and like hints towards it. Like I remember like a few years ago,
Card game. or something?
I remember a lot of their job listings and stuff. Like it was obvious they were working on something other than League of Legends. Because like,
Oh.
how do you just you have like this giant company and all you do is work on League of Legends? Like,
Yeah.
that doesn't even.
That's what they seem so focused.
Right.
That's how I felt. I
But
was like, that's weird.
they've branched out. They finally announced like what they've
That
been
makes
working
sense.
on for like
You know
past
what?
10 years.
In my mind, I was like, they must not be making money or something. Like,
They've
that's
made
what I
a shit
thought.
ton of money.
No, yeah. Well, now it's obvious.
Dude, they are, and it isn't just gaming too. Like the video showcased a little bit of like their facility and their studio. They have like music production rooms because they make songs. They've released all the albums.
They've been
of,
doing
like,
that, but yeah.
like their features with like famous artists. You know, and they've always been good about getting like outside of gaming world. You know what I mean? Like Imagine Dragons. They had this recent song with a bunch of new artists, or not new artists, but like a bunch of artists. That,
Raw Reaction League has always been good about that. They've always been good about embedding into like pop culture.
they even have a Louis Vuitton skin now.
No, right?
Yeah, it's crazy.
Louis Vuitton designs their fucking.
Yeah,
There's-
these prestigious skins.
No, they designed the pace
yeah. You saw
for
that?
the trophy. Yeah.
Yeah.
They've only done that for like the World Cup.
Yeah,
and it's
which
like,
happened
what?
last Sunday. Yeah,
That happened? Oh, the thing they designed.
the Louis Vuitton
They look good.
trophy. Yeah, it was good. The
yeah.
trophy always looks the same.
I didn't see
Yeah.
it.
But it's crazy to see just like how much impact and influence they've had in the gaming world ever since League of Legends first came out. And I remember playing League back then when it was like first coming out, and it was like, oh shit! Like I I remember seeing the trailer. I'm like, oh, I hope this is an MMO. It wasn't, so I didn't play it until my brother was like, yo, play this game. Like, it's actually pretty cool. Like, it's like, you know, it's like you kill these minions and then like you just like it's like turret defense.
It's so weird. I don't know how we all got. It was middle school. We all got really embedded.
We were probably like what 7th grade, 8th grade.
Yeah.
And then dude,
I remember being in the playground with me and one of my friends. Just be like, it's just click and watch. You don't do anything. You just click and watch. It's a dumb game. It's not a first person shooter.
But League definitely like paved the way of like me growing into like my teenage years. Cause we would play for hours.
I think it like
we wouldn't sleep.
No, it was late. Like I would.
It was
like
bad.
4 hours of sleep. Yeah, I would show up to school late. I got so many late things just for.
We carpooled.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, bro.
True.
It was bad. We would not sleep, and then we'd just play League.
I wouldn't do
go to
homework,
school.
I'd
I'd sleep
League.
in school because it's like, bro, this isn't League.
Yeah. League of Legends
was bad. It was very toxic. It was fun though, and this is where just to like tie where League has kind of paved the way for a little bit of my life, is that growing up we would follow teams like Team Solo Mid, Cloud9, CLG, Dignitas,
streamers,
you know,
Hotshot GG,
and so that's when I had like I feel like that was like the seed of like, hey, this is a business. Like, you know, people run these organizations, people run these teams. There's content creation here.
Right. Oh, right. You get with League of Legends, you get the full spectrum of a game.
And now it's become so popular that like the filmmaking, the documentaries, like it's actually
the money's there.
This is the media that makes these organizations famous. This is the media that connects the fans to the professionals. And I'm like, whoa, like this is something I could pursue, I could do. And so that's why when you were saying you got to play the games, you got to play a bunch of games so you know what kind of game you want to make.
Yeah.
Same for me, where it's like I've been like consuming a lot of this media of esports organizations, like the whole story of 100 Thieves coming together and like creating their own thing. Like that is essentially what that same energy is like, has inspired me to like, yo, I can pursue this in life, whatever it is that I want to do, you know?
Like as a person.
Yo, shout out to Nate Shot.
Yo, Nate.
But yeah, so like League has really just taken over, like it's taken esports to like the next level that I don't think other competitive games could
Definitely
do.
not. And that they've always been good about that. That's what I'm saying. They've always been good about like the social part.
I think it really is just like their innovation and like boldness to just collaborate with whoever they're collaborating with, you know.
Whatever they want to do, they want to like make what you love. I think they're doing that.
It's crazy. That. It's crazy just like how famous and popular it is. Because back then, like you said, you're like, wow, like before it was like in our own bubble. Yeah. And then now it's just like
it was like in our own bubble, but it was also at a point where it was like we played it so much, we were so embedded in it. I think like I like missed out on learning certain life skills. Like it was just so much League. And so like other games too, I was playing a lot. But it was just like so much of that like now that like I'm like I think more detached, or like I see, because I think at the time the game you're playing and all your friends are playing, that's like an ultimate thing. That's like a big part of what you are thinking about in the world. In my mind. Like, and it's like, and sure, it's your pocket, and it wasn't as popular, which I didn't realize. Like, it seemed way more popular to me as a kid than it does now, even though.
And now it's like vice versa, where it's not that popular,
but
and it's
is
huge. Yeah, it's like flipped on us.
That's weird.
All right, cut back to the outline. Let's see what else we got. Shout out to Riot for innovating, always pushing forward. It's interesting to see where the direction of Riot
understand what I'm like thinking about. Like, sorry, what were you saying? Sorry. Like, that's so beyond the scope of game making. That's everything around it.
Yes, and that's why...
You're saying it's huge.
I was saying, like...
The content is the game.
That's what I'm into. And you pointed that out earlier about how I'm always about bigger... It's bigger than the game. Right. Whenever I'm into a game, I get into the thing that isn't just the game.
Right.
Yours is more like...
The game.
Micro level of, like,
attention
how does the
to
game
how it's
work.
Designed. Yeah. What is it saying? What's happening?
That's why we're a great team.
High five. Can you hear that? Wait, dude. Nice.
Yeah, okay. So
we'll insert sound effect.
That's why you're always the coder and programmer. I don't want to mess with that shit. I'm more of like the I'll get the people. I'll get the
That is a difference.
I'll get the marketing. I'll get the brand going.
Damn.
You know,
that is a
and that's. Difference. But yeah, that is always, we always talk about, even growing up, we have always had these ambitions of creating a game, creating a brand. You know, I always have these outbursts of ambitious creations, whether it's music, whether it's gaming, whether it's film.
And that it is like that. It's like the you know, I was thinking of Myers-Briggs.
Myers-Briggs.
INFP, INTP.
Yeah. Boom.
That's like always make decisions that are very internal.
Yes.
And so then you'll suddenly make a life decision that to everyone else is like, what? Where did that come from?
Yeah.
But really, it's been considered for a while. Yeah.
You're
very relevant.
I never thought about that.
Yeah. That's how it works.
Yeah. Because that has definitely happened to me in the past.
And they're just like, what? It's because you don't externalize how you make decisions.
Yeah.
It's all internal.
Well.
There you go.
Welcome to the Midnight Lantern podcast, where we drop knowledge and wisdom.
Insight.
Easy.
Anyways, okay. So, did you want to talk about the competitive scene? I don't know anything about this.
Not really.
I'm like, okay,
yeah, we don't know enough. I just wanted to shout out
there's some nerds
G2
out there.
for beating SKT.
Okay.
And really upsetting the world finals.
SKT.
The underdogs. You know, SKT's always on top. Other than that, I mean, that was it. I watched the finals. FPX just like stomped G2. Yeah. But anyways, so we've been speaking nonsense for about an hour or so. Let's go ahead and wrap it up with a little bit more about our life, where we're at, and we'll go ahead and close the podcast. It's around that time.
Sounds good.
Well, for me, recently, school's whatever, just trying to finish school. Really just inspired though recently to
why wait to graduate?
Yeah, exactly. Why wait to graduate to really build what I want to be going towards in life, which is
it really should be complementary.
Right. I want this career in some kind of content creation, some kind of media where I can eventually, the ultimate goal is to build a brand and like a company, like a team of like-minded people who are as creative and as ambitious and as driven as I'd like to say I am. And so that's kind of just where my head's been at recently. It's given me a newer perspective on school and really just trying to finish. And I'm really just trying to learn every day. I'm trying to read more books. I've been listening to like a lot of podcasts, you know, just trying to open my mind to more things that I normally wouldn't do, in terms of like trying to gain perspective on how to live life and live in life a better day every day, you know, and just trying to take whatever like my fears going into life as an artist, which is very scary and very like, I don't know what I'm doing, you know, and just taking that fear, you know, by the horns and really just, you know, because what we fear is the unknown. And if I make it known, then be more comfortable and like communicate with like, you know, I think it will
get comfortable in that uncomfortable place.
Exactly. You know, because I read in the book, it's like, if you're trying to live a life that you've never lived, you got to do things you've never done. Yeah. And so we've never done a podcast.
Fucking do it.
And so I've just been pumped to create more. Earlier this year, I tried to start recording like a vlog of some sort, but that expression didn't like sit right with me. It just didn't feel like my style of like how I do things.
It's weird.
Yeah, but I've definitely still taken a lot of videos when I can of just about what I'm doing. Been skating a lot.
Not bad.
Trying to get more into skateboarding and
it's good to stay fit too. Exercise
right? Yeah, you know, leg day every day.
Leg day every day. You feel it too.
I've been like in that world of content creators and stuff. I've been trying to watch more like YouTubers, like vloggers. But it all gets kind of old. Everyone has that same energy, and so like it's a good perspective of like what I want to like obtain from them in terms of like how they made it in life, how they made it as content creators, and really put my own style to it and see what I can do with what I have for now. Yeah. And so that's what I've just been inspired to do, really just put myself out there, really express, because I think if for anyone out there listening, if you have that same passion and drive to express yourself in any way, whether it's like through art, through music, through gaming, through the job you're pursuing, whether it's a creative career or not, really just put yourself out there and do it, because, you know, we're not here for a long time. You might as well just pursue while you can. Yeah.
All right. So that's what you're up to.
That is what I'm up to.
All right, cool. I'm like, I don't know if I have the same. I'm like currently waiting to see what programs I get into. So it's almost like instead of having a very sure optimism, I'm like moderating it. I'm like, okay, I need to be realistic. I may not get in. They may not like me. I have to be ready for that. But it's the same where it's like, where you're kind of like you shouldn't wait to graduate to do your shit. Like, I shouldn't wait to get into a master's program to be trying to make stuff or making games and shit.
That's like one thing that's been really pushing me, is that you shouldn't wait for these opportunities. You should just like make your own opportunities.
Definitely. That's the entrepreneurial spirit. There we go. That's kind of what I'm trying to do too. I guess it's the same. Speaking of like finishing school, like career direction, it's a weird thing. Like the way it feels, especially trying to maintain this entrepreneurial thing, is like job. It's just like a trap. It's like you could just do a job. You could work a 9 to 5 your life. You could, but it's like you limit yourself, or like you belittle your potential, and it's like,
or you could see it like you're like building a foundation of like your potential.
Like that.
You know
Okay.
what I mean? Like,
yeah, which is I guess what I'm doing.
Because to be real, you have to like do
shit you don't want to do.
Yeah, exactly. You got to do shit you don't want to do.
That's some Tolstoy sounding.
Yeah.
Every job, every great job has its undesirable part.
You just don't hear about it when like these grand stories of people like doing what they want to do.
It gets edited out, like a good portion of this podcast.
Yeah, exactly.
Even that line probably. Like, what am I doing? It's like the same thing. It's like I'm trying to do stuff. I'm trying to make stuff. I'm trying to have enough money to exist and then keep existing and creating. That's
that is
the extent of it.
Yeah. And I hope you keep existing.
Thank you, Sean.
So that this podcast can keep existing as well.
That would be nice.
Because I don't know if I can do this by myself.
Yeah, that would be, me neither. So you should also keep existing.
Yes. And that is it, man. We're out here just existing, and that's why we're doing this, because
to enhance our existing.
Yeah, exactly. It enhances it a little. We have something to share, because we're all out here just living. Yeah. And I mean, every day is already like, living is great. Like waking up every day and you're like, I'm still alive. That should already be a positive vibe.
It's already a plus.
To do what you want to do, pursue what you want to pursue. But that will probably do it.
Yeah. What about like guests? What is our future? What do we want to talk
so the future of this podcast, we called it the Midnight Lantern. You want to tell the backstory? You know the backstory a little bit?
Like vaguely, I know the feeling. It's like you're in a cabin and you're just like talking.
Yeah, we are big RPG players. So the Midnight Lantern, but that is pretty much like the podcast is really just up in the air. I think it really is more for us than for you, but it's definitely just a creative outlet for us to express our thoughts, express our stories, and just our thoughts on a lot of things in our lives. Because
it's a lot.
We aren't very we aren't very good at expressing it other ways in like socially, and
other than a performance.
We're very much introverted weirdos.
It's an artist's bane.
So we've come to this place to just spill it all out here on the podcast, and we just thank you for listening. And if you like it, let us know. If you hate it,
definitely
let us know.
Yes, I want to know.
Where can we follow you?
So follow me, it's JC Ryan on Instagram.
Is that what
or
it is?
Twitter. It's
Do you even know your own?
It's like j.c.
I'm pretty sure
underscore RY.
He got his own username wrong.
It's weird. Yeah, they said it for me. Also, JC Reno 77 on Twitter. No, yeah. I mean, I don't post anything on Twitter.
Okay, yeah. I haven't been on Twitter in so long because I feel like I just lose brain cells.
Yeah, same. It's just bullshit.
Um,
It's impulsive reactionary.
but you can follow me at Sean J Barlon. We'll put all the links down below in the description. You know.
Like and subscribe.
Yeah, like, comment, subscribe if you're listening on iTunes, Spotify, SoundCloud, wherever you're listening. We appreciate you. Go ahead and follow. Go ahead and share this with all your friends and family and be like, well, look how bad this podcast is.
You just shit on it with your mother. Your
and, you know, we'll see you on the next episode of the Midnight Lantern, which will hopefully be more organized and better.
Yeah, definitely.
But,
thank you very much.
Thank you.